So good afternoon everyone. We're in Newcastle upon Tyne today, Saturday afternoon. We're in the city centre and I've had a tip off about this place, FENWICKS. Now you're going to be thinking to yourselves, why is he stood outside FENWICKS department store in Newcastle? Now I've had a tip off about their food hall and about the pies. I believe they're not cheap, but sometimes I think you've got to pay, you've got to shell out some decent coin for decent food. So let's go and find this food hall and check out these pies, shall we? Tell you what, the food hall at FENWICKS is amazing. Now if you've got a few quid to spend and there's a treat, there's lots of nice fancy things in here. Lots of nice fancy bottles of whiskey and champagne. And you've got some really nice bars and restaurants down here as well. It's well worth a visit, to be fair. I've been well impressed with it. A little bit like Harrods food hall this, but less pretentious and less tourist as well, and not as busy. And if you're ever in Newcastle, it's well worth a visit, this place. Got lots of nice chocolates here as well. Things that you don't see on a lot of the high streets in the UK. And I just wanted to take a shot of some of these fantastic pies in here. Now how good do they look? Yeah, no, good, thank you. Just looking at your fantastic pies. Thank you. Just look at them. Look at them Scotch pies there. They look really good, don't they? And chicken balti pie as well. Some fantastic sausage rolls down there, as you can see. Got a rogue lasagna there. Now then, we're coming on to the bee's knees here. Got a fantastic artisan steak pie there. Now we're getting serious. Family pork pie there. That looks good, doesn't it? And you got your dinky ones at the back there. So I think it'd be criminal really to come in here and not try any of these. So let's get a couple and try them out, eh? Hey up, I need to tell you, don't I, how much these fancy pies, how much they cost. So the pork sausage roll was £2.50. The dinky pork pie was £2.25. And the artisan steak pie was £4.25. So that came to a grand total of £9. And that's in FENWICKS in Newcastle upon Tyne, and it's the beginning of January. I think it's the 4th today, 4th of January 2025, and they all came in this fancy bag as well. Got a touch of the Harrods about it, that I reckon. So anyway, let's do the grand unveiling. So let's get into these one by one, shall we? So that is the dinky pork pie. See if I can break into that without too much bother. Now they've all been expertly wrapped, these as well. So that's the dinky pork pie. Looks good, that, doesn't it? Got a good bake on it, decent weight to it as well. So that's the pork pie. Just put that to one side. Let's see what else we've got in here. So this is, I'll just push that out of the way and push that back. This is the sausage roll. We've got a pigeon on its way as well to try some of the food in a minute. Let's get into that. As I say, they've all been, it's like past the parcel, this, isn't it? They've all been expertly wrapped. So that's your sausage roll. Again, that looks good. Looks like a lot of cur's been put into that. Put that away for a second, and last but not least, I can grab that out of the bag, biting with it. This is the artisan steak pie. Now they're not easy to open these one-handed, but I'm doing my best. So let's have a look at this. Now then, it's in the casing. Let's have a... In fact, I can't get it out at the moment, but I will. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll give you the 360 in a minute. But yeah, looks good that, doesn't it? And as if by magic, I've popped out the steak pie. So that's what that one looks like in all its glory. Looks good that, and that's got some weight to it as well. Could do bicep curls with that. So anyway, take two, we'll get into them in a second. So then, I think we'll get into this pork pie first of all. Now I've been in to get, I didn't bring a knife with me, schoolboy error, but anyway I've managed to save the day, and I've got a wooden knife, so I'm hoping that this is going to work, and it kind of works. It's going to take a couple of attempts this, I think. There we go, got there eventually. So that's the inside of a FENWICKS pork pie. Looks good that. Plenty of filling in there, isn't there? Let's give that a whirl. Yeah, that's good that. Quite sticky pastry, but I like it like that. It reminds me of the pork shop in Lytham, the consistency of the pastry. But yeah, really nice that. Nice salty succulent pork meat in there. Right, next on the hit list, let's have a go at this sausage roll, shall we? I'm hoping this is going to be easier to cut into. Crikey, schoolboy error that, isn't it? Not bringing a knife with me, but never mind. So we'll have a look at that. So that's the insides of one of the pork sausage rolls. Again, looks good that. Looks like it's packed with ingredients in there, doesn't it? Packed with filling. So let's give that a whirl. That is really good. I'd say the meat's nicer than the pork pie, to be honest. There's not much in it, but I like my pork and what have you quite salty, and that's got a little bit more salt than the other one. But yeah, really good that. Nice flaky pastry as well round it. Right, and last but by no means least, let's attack this artisan steak pie. Now let's see if I can break into it. I'll do my best. I might have to turn it round this one. Let's do it that way. There we go. So I can already see there's plenty of steak, isn't there, in there. Made a bit of a dog's dinner of that, but never mind. You can still see, can't you? So let's give that a whirl. Nice thick gravy in there as well by the looks of it. Nice chunky pieces of steak. Nice rich gravy in there. And the pastry's lovely as well. That's well good. Pastry's not too thick. Nice and golden in colour. Another really good top-notch pie that. So let's go through the pies one by one, shall we? Let's start off with this pork pie. So I've said this before, a picture tells 1,000 words, doesn't it? Absolutely packed with ingredients that. One thing I will say about it is there was no jelly in it. Now I do like my pork pies with jelly in them, but not to take anything away from this one, it was really good. And as you can see, packed with ingredients that, innit? Good pork pie that. So that's that. The sausage roll, again, nice flaky pastry, packed with ingredients that, as you can see. Nice bake. Pastry was lovely. A little bit more salty, I would say, than the pork pie. And I like, I like my pork pies and what have you with a bit of salt in them. So yeah, very good that. So that's the sausage roll and the artisan steak pie. Now again, that just tells 1,000 words, doesn't it? That one picture. That was superb, that. Packed with ingredients, plenty of nice, thick, chunky pieces of steak in there. Nice rich gravy, you can see that just peeping out around the edges. But yeah, they've not scrimped with them at all, any of the pies. The sausage roll. You can taste that they're good quality. There's no high street, cheap pie shop products in there. So yeah, all good. So I'll just put that down. So marks out of 10. So as a collective, they cost £9, which is expensive, but we are in Fenwick's, or outside Fenwick's eating them. Fenwick's is quite a highbrow department store, which but to be honest, it reminded me a bit of Harrods, like Harrods of the north of England anyway. But yeah, marks out of 10 for them. Expensive, but you've got to pay for good quality. I'm going to give them a 9.7 out of 10. 9.7. Now, out of interest as well, the lady behind the counter, I asked her where they get the pies from, and they said they were from a place called Toppings. Now, I believe Toppings is down in possibly the northwest, around, I think she said it was Lancashire, but I couldn't say for certain. But yeah, anyway, whoever makes them, they've done a really good job. So we're just on Grey Street at the moment. We're just a little bit further down the hill from Fenwick's, heading towards the railway station and the Tyne, River Tyne, and the famous Tyne Bridge. So yeah, Newcastle, it's like a really nice mixture of old buildings, as you can see, and great architecture, new buildings, artisan family shops and department stores as well. Just pan round for you. That there is called the Monument, and that's right in the city centre. So like all roads and paths lead out from there. It's right outside Metro, the Monument Metro station as well. And this is St James's Park, home of Newcastle United. It's only actually a short walk from the city centre. It's quite a nice walk actually, through some like nice, look like listed building terrace streets, if you will. Yeah, very impressive stadium, St James's Park. It's decent. And as I say, a stone's throw away from the city centre. So we've come to the end of our trip to Newcastle. As I say, it's well worth a visit, Newcastle. And I couldn't leave, could I, without an iconic shot of the famous Tyne Bridge before we head back to the railway station. So yeah, it's probably about 3:30, something like that, heading towards 4 o'clock. So the sun's going down, quite atmospheric down here. So you know what's coming next. All that remains for me to say is, please join me again on my next adventure, whether that be in the UK like we are here, in Newcastle, in North East England, or elsewhere around the world. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.